So here's the spiritual center, the area where they allow us to pitch. Now, some people pitched here, but there's like a ball field and people were playing baseball. So I pitched between one of these picnic tables here. Rorschach is still packing up camp. And there's plenty of picnic tables, plenty of trash barrels. There's this pavilion, which came in super handy this morning because it started to rain. And at first I was like, oh, well, what's the big deal? I'll just wait for it to pass. That is the shower. Behind it is a utility sink. So I washed out my clothes in the utility sink. They were damp this morning, but they feel good, so not uncomfortable. Took a shower. It was cold water, but it felt so good. I didn't even care. And they have a porta potty, which was a nice privy this morning. So yeah, it started raining. I don't even know, like 4:30. I woke up, my sneakers were on the picnic table. I was not expecting rain. I was like, so I jump out of my tent, get my sneakers. They didn't get very wet. It was just really just starting to rain. So I said, oh my gosh, it's too early to get up. And then I pulled out the phone anyway to see what the weather prediction was. And they said, possible thunderstorms, thunder and lightning at 5. I went, yeah, okay. I never move so fast. I just started, I said, I can't worry. I can't worry about the noise I'm making to the other tents. I got to do what I got to do. And I just started packing up because my sleeping bag's the first thing to go in. So I threw that sleeping bag in. It's warm enough, not like I needed it anymore. And started just packing everything that I could from within the tent, hauled it to the pavilion to get it out of the rain. Then, because of the nature of my tent, I was able to take the tent out from under the fly, get that to the pavilion. It remained dry. The fly was soaked, but I was able to hang that on a line that was in the pavilion and at least get some of the wet off it. Yeah, and then after the fact, so after I did all of that and got it all into a dry space, I made my breakfast and enjoyed my coffee. So even though I was technically up and out of that tent, so to speak, around, let's call it 4:45, I am leaving at 7:10. Oh well, I'm telling you, rain, it doesn't matter what, it always slows things down. But this place is absolutely beautiful. It's right on the trail. Now, the entrance is right on the trail. It is about 0.4 to the ball field where we're permitted to pitch, but that's okay. It's not an awful walk, and, I'm going to probably take a lighter day today and do about 14, 15. There's a place to camp with bathrooms and stuff like that, I thought, yeah, they're saying possible thunderstorms later today, so I'm like, yeah, why do this to myself? So if options are available, we'll take them. But, so, yeah, that was my morning, and slept great last night. Oh my gosh, I slept great last night. And like on the hour, they had, like a bell go off, but after the chimes for the hour, they played music, like with bells. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I did not hear them after 9 o'clock, so I'm guessing they did not play after 9, or I just slept so well. They didn't bother me. I have not heard them yet this morning, and it's 7, so I don't know when they start again. But, okay, so here we go. Off for another day. What's the word? In paradise. Yeah, all right. Bye for now. So this is the snack shack. I guess they have a food truck on the weekends, but I got different ice creams, but and different candies and all kinds of soda and then some resupply, believe it or not. And the price is way better than that stupid convenience store. I had an MRE for, well, a Mountain House for lunch because I was so hungry. And this is, oops. And they've got all kinds of tables and the bathrooms and changing areas if you're gonna go to the beach. And I really did think I was going to jump into that water, but there's just no time. We've got rain coming and got to get to the shelter. It's more important. Plenty of time for swimming when I'm off trail, but it is glorious. And you can stay here. There's actually a shelter. You could stay here and then you could go swimming, but I'm pushing on 5 more miles with Rorschach. Off we go. Not too much elevation gain. Should be, hopefully, fingers crossed, a quick 5 miles. We'll see when we get there. So, a lot of times when I'm on trail, things happen and time flies and I gotta hike and then I get to the shelter late and a lot's going on and maybe it's rain and maybe it's not. And anyway, sometimes details that might have been helpful get lost in the cracks. And there's literally no time for me to go back and fill them in. But I was home and I had time to rewatch some videos and see where I forgot to mention things and actually make a list and write them down. So I neglected to tell you where that concession stand and beach/shelter was. Now, maybe you figure it out on your own. When you've got far out, you will figure it out on your own. But if for planning purposes, if you're thinking ahead going, yeah, that seems like something I'd really like to do, well, let me read it to you. If I'm saying this correctly, it is the Canopus Lake Beach Shelter. That's at mile Nobo, right? Nobo, 1429.5. And that was so you saw the beach. I didn't obviously go over by where the shelter space is. Walkabout did stay there. I don't think I've seen him since. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen Walkabout since. I'll have to ask him what he thought of it. But yeah, wow. I'm sure I'll see him after taking some time off trail. We'll cross paths again. But that's also where the little snack shack is. Anyway, and bathrooms and whatever. So now you know. Okay, and while we're filling in blanks, that night, Rorschach and I stayed at a very cool shelter. It was called far out, it says the RPH shelter, which stands for Ralph's Peak Hiker Cabin. It's really cool. It used to be a 4-sided cabin, but they took part of a wall down because, can't have a shelter with 4 walls. That would just be crazy town. Anyway, there was only one other person there, Haley. Super nice. She is a teacher. And now that she's out for the summer, she decided to try section hiking. This was actually I want to say day 3 for her. And she was all very brand new at it and just seeing if it's something she likes. She has no idea, but it sounds cool and she'd like to do it and she doesn't. So she's trying out some section hiking over the summer. Anyway, the water source for this shelter is, my gosh, it's got to be less than 0.1 from the shelter, but it's glorious. It was really flowing well when we were there. And it did end up raining that night, which helped the water sources a lot. But fabulous shelter. Very cool because it used to be a cabin. And a great water source. And a funny privy. You'll see what I mean when you stay there. And the privy is actually right on trail. So if you just needed to use that or you just want to check out why it's funny. Anyway, it's kind of funny. All right, I'll tell you. They have it decorated with pictures and obviously a flusher that doesn't work. Oh, it's so funny. Anyway, so yeah, that was very cool. Let me check my list and see if there was anything more and see if I wanted to tell you anything. I think the next one is for day 93, and I'm going to make up some details there too. Okay, bye.
We're getting a lot of good views out here.
Absolutely. they make us climb, there better be good views.